This is Norwood again, and this time there's no love around the corner as Al Wallace got in there to make the hit for Carolina. And bear in mind, as we talked about early on today, JC, this is a Carolina defense that last year was ranked 3rd overall. They were very good against the run, but Atlanta's picking them apart here this afternoon.
They really have. And when you look at that defense, and you think that they've gotten better in the offseason also. They brought in Moreeeee too, the big defensive tackle. They got Chris Jenkins back, and he's healthy inside. And you got Sean Williams at the safety position. And you would look at them on paper and say they've gotten much better, but the production hasn't been there today.
On 2nd and 13 now. A gain of 4 by Jarius Norwood. Let's go to Los Angeles and Chris Rode for this update.
All right, thank you, Matt. How will Terrell Owens fare in his Dallas Cowboys regular season debut? There's only one way to find out. Keep it tuned to Fox. Most of you will get the Cowboys and Jaguars. That is coming your way after the Falcons and Panthers. Back to Matt, JC, and Jay.
Chris, thanks. Again, that's the second part of our doubleheader coming up next, right after the Panthers and Falcons here in Carolina. The T.O. Tuna Melt.
I'm just glad to see that he's playing, so maybe he can stop talking so much and just let his play talk for him.
3rd and 10. Vick is hit. Oh, he threw it right at Julius Peppers, who seems to have forgotten his assist skills on the basketball floor. Right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen too often that Julius Peppers is going to drop a play like that. See, Peppers is the right end right here just working on Wayne Gandy. He reads the screen out. And Mike Vick, he knows that he threw it right to Peppers. He's trying to hop up off the ground, but watch Peppers. He reads the screen and just runs right there in front of the back.
Well, that's not only a pick, that's Peppers returning it some ways as well, and that was a game changer averted by Atlanta. So Canaan's punt trickles out of bounds at the 4. Julius Peppers knew he had an opportunity. Still 20-6 Atlanta.
Nurofen, fast, targeted relief for pain.
Freedom for backs. New heat patches from Nurofen.
Hey, you didn't type in your password.
Don't have to. Biometrics.
What?
Wherever I am, I just swipe, password goes in, I'm connected. Biometrics.
Oh, bionic finger, cool. It's like 10 times stronger than a regular finger.
No, it's for passwords. No, it's more like na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Na-na-na-na-na-na. Better.
Secure wireless, made easy. Only on a ThinkPad with Intel Centrino mobile technology.
Well, Julius Peppers is going to be reliving that one for 5 or 6 days. He had an opportunity to intercept Michael Vick and maybe change this game in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, he sure did. And he won't drop that too often. You know, they call Javon Kearse the freak out in Philly because of his athletic ability. Well, Michael Vick, I think, is freakier than Javon Kearse, and Julius Peppers is probably the freakiest with his athletic ability. I mean, 2 of the most dynamic guys in the league here today.
The swing pass is complete to Deshaun Foster after a modest pickup of a couple of yards. Kevin Mathis on the tackle. Tuesday night, after an all-new house, watch the FBI's top negotiators work it on and off the streets. It's the biggest new drama of the season, Standoff. All new Tuesday at 9/8 Central right here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. The Carolina, to make things even more difficult for them, they just have not had field position today. And a nice recovery made on the reception by Drew Carter for a Panther first down. 7 of their 10 drives, JC, have started inside the 30.
And then they haven't been able to get any big plays, really. You know, nothing outside, and now you see they're trying to get something going outside, but the balls are coming out quick. Again, they don't have time to allow those receivers to work down the field and create a big play and run by a guy because Jake Delhomme doesn't have time to throw it.
Second consecutive first down reception made by Drew Carter.
They're also going their no huddle now. They've got to try to change the pace up, try to speed things up because they need to score.
And the little slant, and the ball pops free away from Keyshawn Johnson on a big hit by Kevin Mathis. Well, one of the reasons that Delhomme hasn't had any time today is number 55 in the red jersey. The new Falcon end, John Abraham, has had a huge coming out party.
He sure has. Obviously, the MVP today, you can see he's just been working on, around, through anybody they try to put on him, whether they double team him, single block him. And when we talked to him, he said, hey, these guys are in trouble. If they single block me and I get one-on-one, I'm going to kick some butt, and that's exactly what he's done.
This is Carter on the reverse with a lot of room to run and another Carolina first down. So John Fox ditching the conservative play calling given all the circumstances today. And the Panthers have been able to accomplish 3 first downs on the drive for the first time today.
Like we said earlier, you've got to adjust. You've got to make some adjustments on the go when with the game plan that you came in with is not working. You've got to change it up. You've got to be able to do that on the fly and try to create some different looks, and that's what they're doing now.
The drive began on the 8, and that one wide of the intended target. Again, they're looking at Drew Carter with those big Steve Smith shoes to fill this afternoon.
And D'Angelo Hall giving him a lot of room out there on the outside and just letting him catch those quick hitches, and almost caught another one there. But with D'Angelo Hall, I can guarantee you that he's going to start to creep up, and he's going to try to jump one of those hitches outside. You see he's talking about that right now.
2nd and 10 now for the Panthers. You know, Carolina thought they'd be able to bring Drew Carter along slowly. 5 career receptions at the start of the day. He's caught 4 balls this afternoon for 55 yards. Play action to Williams. And Delhomme's pass is incomplete. Fans want a hit call on D'Angelo Hall. Again, they were looking for Drew Carter.
D'Angelo Hall right here, one of the best cover corners in the league because he's so fast. And that's why he's shadowing Drew Carter, and you know, that's just a good break on the ball. He said if they keep going after that guy time and time again, sooner or later he's going to jump one of those routes and turn that into a big play. He's the fastest man in the NFL.
Won that competition and that esteemed honor at the Pro Bowl last year. Panthers 1 for 8 on 3rd down conversions today. Delhomme with some time, another wobbler incomplete, and fans want another flag. They had a lot of red jerseys on Keyshawn there.
Bad ball, and I don't know if that ball is slipping out of Delhomme's hands or if it's getting tipped, but Keyshawn's just going to come down and run it in, and this ball just is way overthrown. There's no pass interference there because that ball's uncatchable. It doesn't matter what happened. Keyshawn, as long as his arms are, never would have gotten to that ball.
Yeah, despite Keyshawn's best efforts to sell it there with the flop. So once again, the punting unit on for Carolina. Precious time winding away on the Panthers on opening day. Atlanta will take over at the 20-yard line when we come back. 7 minutes.
For Wilson NFL and GST footballs and much more, visit NASNEurope.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
Major League Baseball.
Atlanta's offense has been awfully tough to stop in this Sunday opener. Michael Vick has had a Michael Vick-like afternoon, and certainly Warrick Dunn has been huge. 120 yards for the 3-time Pro Bowler on the ground.
And then how about Mike Jenkins? 3 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown right there from a wide receiver that really they hadn't gotten much production from.
1st and 10 for the Falcons at the 20. Time ticking away on the Panthers today. This is done once again. Back to the line of scrimmage. Well, Warrick Dunn has had a great afternoon for Atlanta.
He sure has. He's such a slashing runner. He's small, but he's very quick, very fast, and very strong. And you can see if you don't step up and penetrate and he finds a crease, he's going to hit it. He's going to make those linebackers and those safeties miss, and he's been the difference today. because once you can get a guy like him running, especially downhill in the open field, and get them thinking running game, now you got Michael Vick coming back on the bootleg. It just makes it so tough to stop this offense.
Dunn's afternoon has put him at number 6 on the all-time rushing list. Active players only, that is, and Dunn with another big run, 13 more yards. Over 8,000 yards on the ground for the 6th active leading rusher, Warrick Dunn.
You know, he had a huge year last year, over 1,400 yards rushing, and the question is, can you wear him out? He's a small guy, only 180 pounds, and, you know, the concern is, can he last a whole year? Now that he's the main guy, they only wanted to get him about 25 touches today, and they're right there now.
Flag on the play, and this is going to march Atlanta back as they have marked the ball at the 15. A reminder, our late game is coming up next. Dallas at Jacksonville. The pregame show guys have been there all afternoon. Some of you will see the Packers and Bears. That's the second half of our doubleheader coming up next on Fox. So after the penalty, back to 2nd and 14 now. Atlanta just trying to get their carries covered and keep the Carolina offense off the field once more.
Yeah, and what they're really trying to do is keep this clock moving. As long as you're running the ball, the clock is going to move. You force Carolina to take a timeout.
The Panthers have spent a timeout, their first of the half. 5:39 left in the contest, with Atlanta on top by 2 scores.
Need a quick and tasty snack. With its unique blend of spices, just a splash of Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce deliciously transforms cheese on toast, and it really boosts the flavor of a baked potato and cheese. Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce for the ultimate snack.
Ah, you and your moods. We salute you. They're what makes you, you. So bring 'em on. You in the mood to get up? One Nescafe full calf coming right up. Feeling mellow? A rich Nescafe decaf should tickle that fancy. You somewhere between up and mellow. Up, mellow. How about a half calf? For you, we can do that. Full, half, decaf. Go on, you do the moods, we'll do the coffee. Because at Nescafe, it's all about you.
Is this the help desk?
Yes, sir.
I need help with this.
What is it?
It's my invention.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing.
So what's the problem?
Everyone's going to want one.
I see.
My company's small. This is huge.
You need to grow fast.
Exactly.
Can I see it?
Have a look.
Whoa.
Help desk.
Hi, I'm Tom Glavine of the New York Mets. Watch live Major League Baseball all season long on NASN, Europe's #1 channel for MLB.
Jim Mora trying to stay undefeated in openers as the Atlanta Falcons head man on top by a 20-6 score, approaching 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Part of a busy afternoon for Warrick Dunn today as he gets yet another carry.
Carolina takes another timeout, and that's why Atlanta runs the ball here, because you force those guys to either take the timeout or the clock continues to run.
You know, for John Fox, this was exactly the type of scenario that he hoped to avoid, the late deficit. Last year in the opener, Carolina lost a close game to New Orleans, and we all know what the ending of the story was for the Panthers last year. They got to the conference championship game, but by virtue of some early losses, a 1-2 start, they had to do it uphill all year.
And that's a tough thing to do, especially in this division. The NFC South is so tough with Obviously, Atlanta and Carolina and Tampa Bay, and just going to beat each other up week in and week out. And then when you look at their non-conference schedule or non-division schedule, they got to play the NFC East. Probably the two toughest divisions in football.
Michael Kanan's punt is almost blocked. Gamble back on the receiving end, and he's out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Don't forget, more football to come on Fox. The second half of our doubleheader is coming up. Certainly a highly anticipated matchup. Many of you will see the Cowboys at the Jags, Bears, and Packers. For some of you in our viewing audience this afternoon, Delhomme is dropped again. John Abraham and Darryl Shropshire combining for the sack.
Well, now they're just racing to the quarterback. Now it's who can get there the quickest. Shropshire's inside, Abraham around the outside, and Jake Delhomme, he has no time to even set up and look down the field. Shropshire's right in his face, and here comes Abraham around the end. Again, around Jordan Gross, just so fast, and he's got those long arms and just pulls by.
A loss of 9 on the play. Pass is completed here to Drew Carter. Well, we have seen a very frustrated Jake Delhomme this afternoon.
We sure haven't. There's kids at home that know how to read lips. They need to turn away on some of those ISOs of Delhomme because he's not a happy camper out there.
They have the earmuffs and blinders ready. It's 3rd and 12. Winding inside of 4.5 minutes now in the game. From the 29 on 3rd down. Delhomme sneaks out of the pocket, and that one's batted down. Kevin Mathis has had a nice afternoon at safety for Atlanta.
When you can get so much pressure on the quarterback with only 4 guys, you can drop 7 guys in coverage. And that last play, Atlanta had 7 guys, and they were playing deep. And with the 4 rushers, they were still able to get pressure on Jake Delhomme. And now when you've got 7 guys, you've got to try to look at red jerseys all over the field. There's not a lot of places to throw the ball. Look at all these guys back here.
On 4th down. And Delhomme has a pass caught by Kerry Colbert. Did he stay in bounds for a 1st down? Colbert's 3rd reception of the afternoon. Kevin Mathis and Lawyer Malloy want to know the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be close, but there's no reason why this is even this close, and they don't even get it.
They're not even bringing it out the big change.
Yeah, it's not even
right
close.
There.
But Kerry Colbert has to know where that 1st down marker is. It's 4th down. Look at Kerry Colbert. He's got to know that that flag is right there. He's got to get up there, and he's got to do whatever he's got to do. He's got to turn back inside. He's got to lower that shoulder, and watch him just run out of bounds right here to try to avoid the hit. It's 4th down.
You know, the former Trojan just shy of the 1st down. So Atlanta's offense comes back onto the field, and they'll take over at the Carolina 41. Well, that was awfully close on 4th down, and I think Colbert was just hopeful that he did the dance long enough to keep the drive alive.
But in that situation, Matt, you can't be hopeful. You got to make sure you do everything you can to get past that 1st down marker, and you've got to know exactly where it is when you line up.
We've got a challenge flag on the field.
Carolina is challenging the spot, and see, we will measure it to see if it's a 1st down and review the play.
And at this point, what do you have to lose?
Absolutely worth the challenge, you bet.
It's a challenge, but I think it's more of a hope than a challenge. You're going to see again, Kerry Colbert here. Kerry Colbert here is going to come up the field. He's going to catch the ball short, but he's got to know that he's got to get back up the field. He comes back a couple yards, and he really doesn't fight to get up the field. And look at the end of the play, it looks like he knows exactly that he was short. It's going to be close. The problem is that left foot was on the 41-yard line. His right foot, which came down out of bounds, looked like it had enough for the first down, but he was out of bounds by that time.
Well, they're taking a look at it once again. Again, John Fox challenging the spot on the 4th down reception. If Carolina loses the challenge, Atlanta takes over on the 41-yard line of the Panthers. If Carolina wins the challenge, they've still got plenty of work to do here in just about 4 minutes left.
And you can see that right foot comes down beyond the first down marker, but that's out of bounds. His left foot, you're going to see his left foot right there is way short of the first down, and then the right foot extends over the first down marker. I think he's short.
It certainly makes it more difficult for us to judge those sideline plays with personnel there. You know what they say about challenges, JC? The longer it takes to get a decision onto the field, the more likely it is that the challenger, the call, will be reversed. Who knows if that's the case here?
Yeah, they've got a new rule that you've got 60 seconds to be under that veil, and normally if it goes longer than 60 seconds, they're going to reverse the call, and let's see what they do here.
After reviewing the play stands as called. The receiver was short of the line again. Carolina will be charged with a timeout. Atlanta first down.
So the Falcons take over at the Carolina 41 as John Fox loses the challenge, and a lot of the fans here in Carolina lose their momentum on this opening Sunday.
Yeah, and with only one timeout left, better believe that Atlanta's going to run the ball here. They're going to run it on first down and second down and probably even third down.
And that's just fine with Michael Vick. That's just fine with Jim Mora. That's just fine with Greg Knapp. The rushing attack has been fantastic for the Falcons today. 246 yards on the ground to only 65 rushing yards for the Panthers. Done once again. We remind you the AT&T Game Break Show comes up following play-by-play here in Carolina. Kurt Menefee is live with the pregame guys in Jacksonville. They'll have scores and highlights from around the league, the Fox Sports ticker, a fantasy update as well. And then the second half of our doubleheader comes up right after the AT&T Game Break Show.
Kurt Menefee, I know that guy.
Yeah, you spent some time with Kurt Menefee, didn't you?
My partner last year, and big-timed us and moved on to the pregame show with those guys and just kicked us all to the curb.
Well, Kurt and the fellas have certainly a busy opening Sunday to discuss. A couple of near upsets already in the NFL. Warwick Dunn with yet another carry.
You can see at the end of that run, Warwick Dunn, just a veteran guy, knows that what's most important is not trying to get up the field outside and get as many yards as possible in this situation and maybe get pushed out of bounds. He turns it up the field, just gets on the ground because he knows that clock will continue to move.
No timeouts for Carolina as that clock does continue to roll toward the 2-minute warning as Warwick Dunn is approaching a career-high carries total. He's had the ball 27 times this afternoon. The most he's ever grabbed the rock is on 30 occasions in a single game. Dunn again. And with a run around the outside of the line and close to a first down. You know, we talk about the upcoming schedule in the NFC South, JC, and we talked about how Carolina's got to play on the road at Tampa Bay in a couple of weeks. In terms of the Falcons, they host Tampa Bay in their opener next week. They stay in the South at New Orleans in week 3. Then they get a much improved Arizona team, a bye week on October 8th, and then the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, but the first two are the key because, or the next two rather, because they're division opponents.
Approaching the 2-minute warning in Carolina. The story of the afternoon has been the Atlanta Falcons. They lead by a couple of touchdowns in Carolina.
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
Yes, that's right, Dave.
a Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste.
Here we go. Right and left and right and right. Left and right and right and left.
Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, 0 added sugar.
It's no fun when you can't sleep. Time seems to stand still. You just can't switch off. And it feels like you're the only one. But you don't have to put up with it. Nitol can help you drift off into a natural sleep. So you wake up refreshed in the morning. Good mornings follow a good Nitol.
Precious few opportunities for the Carolina offense this afternoon. Now, Keyshawn Johnson has been frustrated. Steve Smith's been frustrated by virtue of not being able to play. And John Abraham has had a huge first game as a Falcon.
No frustrations for him.
No, not at all. He will sleep well tonight. On 4th and 1. Again, Carolina out of timeouts. The Falcons try to seal it up. Warwick Dunn short of a first down. And the ball is blown dead before Thomas Davis picks it up. Or Chris Draft, that is, still dancing, taking it to the house to the amusement of a half-full stadium.
They're just happy that somebody could finally get into the end zone, whether it counts or not. They're just glad to see a Panther in the end zone. It's been tough today for this offense. And, you know, Jake Delhomme, Abraham, give all the credit to this Atlanta defense, though. First of all, they've gotten tremendous pressure and just shut down this offense.
Kind of a tremendous day for the Atlanta offense as well. 388 total yards by the Falcons, and most of that yardage coming between Dunn and Vick. They've both been splendid, and I don't think the Falcons could have drawn up a better way to open the season, especially given the way they finished 2005, going 2-6 down the stretch.
And you know, the biggest thing is it's a division game on the road. So the next time they play Carolina, it's in Atlanta, and it's big when you can go on the road and win a game.
Delhomme dumps off the pass under 2 minutes in the game. You know, remember, before Carolina swept both games in this contentious I-5 series last year, Atlanta had won 11 of 12. And we've got a player down. John Abraham is down. Oh, my. So a stoppage with 1:42 left. John Abraham went down at the back end of that play.
Well, Matt, what do you think that is?
Boy, I think that's John Abraham, a big, strong man that's going to sound like Madeline Kahn for the rest of the day.
There's Abraham right there at the top. Just going to be working on Jordan Gross again, trying to get up the field, and just slips down. And that might have been a groin injury. When you slip like that, you can see right there he's in a lot of pain and never really took a shot. But the way he's limping right there, when you slip like that, and I've had that happen to me before, and you strain that groin muscle, it doesn't feel good.
Well, John Abraham is able to leave the field under his own power, albeit a little wobbly. He's getting a game ball today, that's for sure. 5 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forces. Second and 2 now for Delhomme. And he has Kerry Colbert on the sideline. This will all come as academia here this afternoon. Again, Carolina out of timeouts.
And all they can do right now is throw the ball to the sidelines or take shots down the field. Anything in the middle of the field, is detrimental to Carolina because it keeps the clock running. If they do that, they've got to hustle up to the line of scrimmage.
Again, a reminder, the second half of our doubleheader coming up as soon as play-by-play is complete here. We'll send you to Jacksonville for the Jags opener as they host Dallas. All eyes on Dallas certainly during the offseason. And I know the guys during pregame coverage live from Jacksonville were talking about the T.O. tuna melt a lot today. By the way, the pregame show will be live from Philadelphia next week. Tune in to see how many cheesesteaks Terry Bradshaw can take down as he finally puts an end to the debate. Is it Jim's or Pat's that serves up the best steak in the city of brotherly love? Just over a minute left. If nothing else, Jake Delhomme would like to engineer a touchdown drive here. He has been frustrated all afternoon. 19 of 33 is Delhomme for 175 yards. He's thrown one pick today. Pass is caught for a first down. The tight end Chris Mangum making his second reception of the day.
And they've got to hurry, get up on the ball and either clock it, spike the ball, or get a play called. But there's too much time running off the clock here.
Inside of a minute, and that one thrown incomplete. We talked about the Panthers' early scheduling this year at Minnesota next week, and then on the road in the division at Tampa Bay, and then they come home to host New Orleans again, as is the case with the Falcons. You know, the South is going to assert itself after 3 weeks this year.
Yeah, 3 of the first 4 games for Carolina are within the division, and big games, especially after a loss today. In this tough division, you can't afford to give away too many ball games, especially at home. You've got to win all your games at home and then sneak out a few on the road.
Reggie Bush and the Saints were winners today in Cleveland. A pass is complete, caught by Deshaun Foster. Ball came free after a hit. Kevin Mathis has been all over the field today for the Falcons, the 9-year vet.
But you got to throw the ball down the field. You've got no timeouts left. You're down by 2 scores, and those kind of throws aren't going to help you. You got to get into the end zone and leave yourself some time for possibly an onside kick.
3rd and 7 now. Delhomme steps up out of the pocket. Pass is caught, and again the ball pops free, but it's whistled dead. The catch made by the tight end Michael Gaines.
And you know, I understand that the Falcons are playing deep and they're in their prevent, but you got to take some shots anyway, and hopefully you come up with a pass interference, and you can see all these short throws. Kevin Mathis and the rest of these defenders, they want the ball to be thrown there so that they can react up on it and make the big hits and the big tackles, and that keeps the clock going. You have to take some shots down the field.
18 seconds left. 4 tackles for Kevin Mathis today after missing all of 05 with a torn ACL. And Kerry Colbert is overthrown. The final salvo in a frustrating opener for Jake Delhomme. 13 seconds remaining. The incomplete pass on 4th down will give the Falcons offense the last say and the last knee this afternoon in Carolina.
Yeah, and everybody's going to say that, well, without Steve Smith, they weren't able to get things going, but it was more than just no Steve Smith today. Offensively, they just couldn't get anything going. They couldn't protect the Jake Delhomme. The offensive line didn't play well. They couldn't get the running game going. And, you know, they can't just think if they get Steve Smith back, magically everything is going to happen again for them.
That'll do it this afternoon as time will wind down. Jim Mora and his 2 big offensive weapons. Warwick Dunn with a huge afternoon, 132 yards. Michael Vick with a big game. And Mora has won the opener again as Falcons head coach. A 20-6 victory here on the road for Atlanta this afternoon. Well, John Fox will regroup. They go to Minnesota next week to look for their first victory of 2006. And for Atlanta, a fine start to the 2006 season. For J.C. Pearson and Jake Glazer, this is Matt Vasgersian thanking you for joining us. The Falcons have defeated the Panthers 20-6.
Druids Glen Golf Resort, voted European Golf Resort of the Year 2005. A golfer's paradise in the Garden of Ireland. 2 championship golf courses of contrasting design. The luxurious Marriott Druids Glen Hotel and Country Club, featuring 148 specially appointed guest rooms and a magnificent spa and health centre. Visit our driving range, pro shops, golf academy, and get your golfing tips or tuition from our resident PGA teaching professional.
11 starters